All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about what might be one of the biggest shakeups in software development we've seen in a long time. OpenAI's brand new model, Codex 5.3. Come on, you know the feeling, right? You're hours deep, just staring at a bug, looking at the same few lines of code over and over, and you're just wishing you had a senior dev you could tap on the shoulder and go, hey, what am I missing here? I mean, it's a frustration literally every single one of us has felt. Well, what if that partner was an AI? Seriously. After spending some real time with OpenAI's new Codex 5.3, it is so clear this is not just another tool that suggests the next word you're typing. No way. This thing can build entire projects from scratch, debug its own code while you watch, and even hold a conversation with you about the approach it's taking right in the middle of a task. I mean, the gap between a helpful little tool and a full-blown AI developer, yeah, that just vanished. So what's the big deal? What makes this so different? Well, it all boils down to one core concept. OpenAI is calling the Agentic Shift. Okay, so when you hear OpenAI use this word agentic, what they're really saying is that this model can do way more than just complete a line of code. It can actually understand a high-level goal, break it down into smaller steps, execute those steps, and this is the really crucial part. It can adjust its plan on the fly if things go wrong or if you give it new directions. Think of it like this. It's the difference between a dictionary that just gives you words and a co-author who helps you write the whole book. And this agentic capability is what unlocks a truly interactive experience. Just picture it. You're watching the AI build out a function. You can literally just jump in mid-task and say, you know what, actually try recursion instead of a loop here. And boom, it pivots instantly without losing any context. It's not just writing code anymore. We're talking about supporting the entire software development lifecycle, from drafting the initial specs all the way to deployment. And hey, if you need proof of this power, look no further. I mean, this is wild. OpenAI actually demonstrated this by having Codex build entire 3D racing and adventure games pretty much on its own. But what's even crazier is that they used early versions of Codex 5.3 to speed up its own development. Yeah, you heard that right. The model helped debug its own training process. We are officially at the point where we're watching an AI help build the next, more advanced version of itself. Okay, so proof and performance. Let's look at the numbers that are actually going to matter to your workflow. So interestingly, the improvements on pure coding challenges were fine, pretty minor, but the real story is right here. We're talking about a massive leap in OS-level tasks. For stuff like managing processes, editing config files, it jumped a whopping 26 points. What this tells you is that the model isn't just writing code anymore. It's actually capable of operating your computer. And we see that same trend continue when we look at command line stuff. On the Terminal Bench 2.0, which is all about testing shell scripting, its score just shot up from 64% to over 77%. For anyone who lives in the terminal or works in DevOps, that is a huge, huge boost. So you look across the board, from hunting down security vulnerabilities to running simulated freelance jobs, and the takeaway is clear. Codex 5.3 is just way more robust in situations that actually look like what real developers do every day. And oh yeah, that roughly 25% speed boost, that's absolutely crucial for keeping you in the zone, in a state of flow, instead of just sitting there waiting for a suggestion to pop up. All right, the numbers are definitely impressive, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's dive into the new real-world capabilities, the features that are going to change how you work. And these 5 features here are just game changers. They really highlight that agentic shift we were talking about. See, it's not just about spitting out a code snippet anymore. We're talking about understanding your entire multi-file code base, automating those complex CI/CD pipelines, and even keeping your documentation up to date automatically as your code changes. It's the whole shebang. And I have to say, I absolutely love this deep diffs feature, because instead of just silently changing your code and leaving you guessing, it actually explains its reasoning. You get a little note like this one. It's like having a super patient mentor right there with you, showing you not just what to change, but why you should change it. And that, right there, is how you actually get better as a developer. Okay, so let's talk about the competition. With all this new power, where does Codex 5.3 actually fit in the market? Yeah, this table breaks it down pretty clearly. The thing to remember is that GitHub Copilot is the product, and Codex is the AI model that powers it. So Copilot will almost certainly get this upgrade to 5.3, which will keep it as the top dog for most of us, just because that IDE integration is so seamless.
Then you have Amazon's CodeWhisperer, which is really the perfect tool if you live and breathe in the AWS ecosystem. And finally, there's Tabnine. That's the go-to for big companies who need that on-premise, privacy-focused option for security, even if it means they're giving up some of the raw horsepower that Codex has.
And here's the best part. This isn't some science fiction coming soon kind of tech. If you have a ChatGPT Plus subscription, you already have access. You can start playing with Codex 5.3 right now. There are also official plugins for VS Code and JetBrains, a command line tool for your terminal, and even a new desktop app that lets you run multiple AI agents at the same time. So, what does this all mean for you? We've looked at the tech, the performance, the competition, but let's bring it all together. What's the real impact on you, the developer? Look, the most important takeaway here is that this is about empowerment, not replacement. This tech is not here to take your job, it's here to give you superpowers. Seriously. The new core skill in development isn't just about hammering out code anymore, it's about learning how to effectively team up with, guide, and collaborate with a ridiculously powerful AI partner. Think about what your new workflow is going to look like. You're going to spend way less time on all that tedious, repetitive boilerplate code, and you'll spend more time on what we humans are actually good at: high-level architecture, creative problem solving, and thinking about the big picture. You get to be the architect, the guide, while the AI handles all the grunt work, and that's going to shorten development cycles from weeks down to days. And that brings us to a final thought. And it's a provocative one, but it's also very, very real. AI isn't going to replace developers, but developers who use AI will replace those who don't. The nature of our job is changing right now. The people who master these tools are going to become so much more productive, so much more capable, that they're going to set a completely new standard for everyone else. So the real question is,